April 1st, April Fool's Day. Okay, so let's cycle. Let's cycle. It's what is it? 7:53 in the morning. It's the best time for cycle. True story. Maybe not, I don't know. It's April Fool's Day. We're gonna cycle. Okay. Resistance 13. Flat.
Xin chào. I am Casey Zog, your iFit trainer. As you can see, we are in the beautiful country of Vietnam. One of my favorite ways to get a workout in is to go on an adventure, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to kick off this amazing scenic performance series here at the War Memorial. And spend a few minutes spinning our legs lightly at a cadence of around 50 to 60. Put your RPE, or rated perceived exertion, at about 2 to 3 right now. We want to get the blood flowing, get the heart rate up a little bit, just so we can prepare to hit off our first VO2 intervals in a few minutes.
It's gonna be VO2 intervals. That's the workout.
Tutorial represents a remembrance of the 100,000 or so Vietnamese who lost their lives in this region alone. Over 1 million Vietnamese died during the war. But this is a remembrance shrine dedicated to those individuals. In fact, there are over 100,000 names listed here alone in order to help us remember the sacrifice and the lives lost during this tragic war. Make sure you keep spinning. Keep that cadence at around 60. I think it's important that we spend a couple moments during this warm-up to be thoughtful of where we have opportunity to ride. We will ultimately be moving into the intervals here in a few minutes. So now that we've had that moment of solemnity and thought, let's make sure we get ramping up in preparation
-1, resistance 13.
for our VO2 intervals. Because as I said earlier,
Incline 1.
we're jumping into the deep end here in Vietnam for this performance series. And we will absolutely be putting in a leg-burning effort today. So the VO2 intervals are designed to help us increase our VO2 max level. This refers to the volume of oxygen
Flat 13.
our body can assimilate or utilize during our workouts, which allows us to avoid going anaerobic and seeing that immediate decrease in performance. With the more oxygen, the greater lactate levels, or rather lactate threshold levels, will allow us to deliver more power, explosive power, for longer before we quickly degrade. And so, the VO2 intervals will set us at an RPE, rated perceived exertion, of 8 trending to 9. We're not going to be going full-on anaerobic during these efforts remembrance and thoughtfulness right outside Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon to how we, or at least I as someone who's a U.S. citizen, took part in their history. And so during this series, we're going to learn how to overcome mental barriers, physical barriers, push through the pain, but also spend some time learning about very important historical aspects of Vietnam. Get to know the people, the culture, the history a little bit more. Those things are really important as we truly dive in and experience this country. Okay, we're gonna get started on that first interval here.
In 10 seconds, first interval.
Get used to those beats during our rides, because that's quintessential Vietnam. Let's kick it here in 3, 2, 1, push it!
Resistance 16,
Come on!
flat.
You got this. RPE. Rated perceived exertion of 8 to 9 here.
RP,
Burn.
RPM 90.
This later. Keep pushing it. Get that cadence up to 90. If you're a high-speed spinner, maybe you're pushing close to 100. Lay down that power. You only need to hold this 30 more seconds. This is a performance series here in Vietnam. So no lackadaisical spinning here. Really big effort. Keep going for 10 more seconds. Come on. Okay. Turn in here. 3, 2, 1. Stop the interval.
Resistance 13.
So not only were we able to knock out that first interval,
How was that? Okay.
totally were able to experience the insanity of traffic here in Vietnam at the same time. For these rests,
RPM 60.
around 60, but your RP at about 2 to 3. You really need to recover during each of these rest periods.
Recover.
Because this is our first set of VO2 intervals in the series, we will have a work to rest ratio of 1 to 2. This is representative work or interval.
We're doing 1 minute of push, 2 minutes of rest.
Body get accustomed to this work over time. And eventually, we'll go 2 to 1 work to rest. So by the end of this series, you are going to be a powerhouse of effort. Vietnam is such a vibrant, beautiful country, and the culture here is so welcoming and amazing. It's definitely a different vibe than what I think a lot of Americans would have experienced decades ago during the war, which I think speaks to the humility and openness of the Vietnamese people. Let's get ready for our next interval here in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Push it up. 3, 2, 1, go!
Resistance 16, flat.
Come on. 1 minute here.
RPM 90,
Follow me.
1 minute.
This is almost like a cyclocross course. Where are we going to navigate this? What a great way to kick off this performance series here in Vietnam. I gotta say, the quality of this dirt road is better than some of the other roads that we ride in this series. So you'll have to join me
Resistance 13.
Recovery here.
Incline 2.
Great work. Watch your RPE. 2 to 3 here. Go lightly over this bridge. Hold in.
-1.
Ready to go.
Flat.
But only blown it up too early. Grab a sip of water if you need to. It's very hot here in Vietnam. We're celebrating the Lunar New Year here with the Performance Series. So folks, I've been out and about celebrating, traveling. Hey puppy, come and join us. Hello, Xin Chao. Dude, we're in the rest period. We don't need to do our interval yet. We got 45 seconds to go. That dog was not following protocol. But being able to come and celebrate the turning over of a new year here in Vietnam has been exceptional. And we will get to see some amazing locations, very diverse rides during this series as we explore VO2, tempo, endurance, and STP intervals. And you will get strong over the course of this if you follow the directions and you do it properly. And speaking of strong, you ready to knock out your next interval? Leave me out. Get ahead. 3, 2, 1, push it.
Okay, let's go.
Cadence,
Resistance 16. 1 minute right here.
9 here.
Target RPM 90.
Unobstructed views of those rice paddies. So beautiful here. Such an amazing location to be out suffering on the bike. Few things better than enjoying a nice morning ride through the rice fields in Vietnam. Feeling good? Those legs burning yet? Our temperatures eclipsing the heat we're going to experience here in Vietnam. Keep it up for 10 seconds. Don't go slow on me now.
Ah,
3, 2, 1. Dial back.
oh, resistance 13.
Nice work. Nice work. Drop your cadence to around 60 now.
RPM 60.
2 to 3.
2 minutes here.
During this series,
Incline 1.
not only
Resistance 13.
some of the deep cultural significance of the areas we're visiting in Vietnam, which we got to experience firsthand during our warm-up today, but also
Flat 13.
focusing on a passion of mine, which is athlete health and nutrition. Let's look both ways before we cross the street, because you'll come to learn that here in Vietnam, it's always heads up while riding our bikes. Vietnamese are exceptionally good drivers and very aware, but it's on us to be just as aware. But in the world of athlete nutrition and health, I've spent years focusing on finding that mix of clean ingredients, optimal carbs, fats, protein, that delivers endurance nutrition, whether you're on the bike, off the bike, needing a snack. And that's why I founded Trail Truffles. And that is how I'm contributing to the ongoing discussion around performance improvement and athlete betterment. And speaking of betterment, let's go knock out that interval to improve our VO2 max in 3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go. Resistance 16. Target RPM 90.
Push it here.
1 minute right here.
Cadence 90 to 100. No letting up here. You've got a nice long straightaway. Serious power delivered to the pedals. When you are properly fueled as an athlete, you will have glycogen stores to work through. Once those get depleted, your body then needs to revert to fat or protein, your muscle fuel, which is oftentimes less ongoing glycogen replenishment even after. Slow this one down to 2, 1, pull it back.
Rest. Resistance 13.
Fantastic work.
Oh man. Oh, that was.
Already knocked out several of those VO2 intervals. You feel the way your body is pumping in that air, that oxygen needed to fuel or provide the catalyst for fuel in your mitochondria, those powerhouses that allow your slow twitch and fast twitch muscle fibers to do their job. And for the longest time, nutrition was an afterthought for a lot of athletes. It was all about the number of hours you spent on the bike or putting in high intensity intervals or base miles. But we're learning, and it's different for each athlete and body composition type, that certain ratios of macro ingredients, carbs, both simple and complex, proteins, healthy fats, fiber, will result in the best outcome for the individual. And so it's different for each person. What's good for me might not necessarily be what's best for you. Which, by the way, we're in a rest period. That's why it's okay to kind of sit and push a lighter pace. RP of 2 to 3 here. In the interval, cranking it. None of this lackadaisical spinning. But on the point of intervals, let's knock out the next one here in 3, 2, 1, push it.
Resistance 16. 1 minute. RPM 90.
RP 8 to 9 here. Cadence of 90 to 100. All of our intervals today are going to be seated. We don't have much of an elevation profile.
Oh.
Vertical to deal with. This is all going to be seated, feet spinning, VO2 improvement intervals. Over halfway done. Keep going. As I was saying before the interval started, we want to work with you over the course of the series to find that optimal nutrition mix. Now you're done with hydration, so you have adequate fuel to power you through your workouts. 3 more seconds, another rest. 2, 1,
And rest. Resistance 13.
This has been a very nice, scenic stretch of road. To really focus on these initial VO2 intervals. Getting ready to take a ride here. As we roll back to some of that fun as a major exporter of this critical crop. One of the things we like to say in cycling is always keep rubber side down. And thanks to these trees in this area of Vietnam, we're able to do that. 10 seconds until our next interval.
10 seconds.
Pick up your cadence
Another push.
and your effort. An RP of 8 to 9. 3, 2, 1, push it!
Let's go. Resistance 16. Target RPM 90.
Come on, we're not done yet. We got a few of these. I know it hurts. I know it burns. Suck in that oxygen. Let's increase that volume. You're able to assimilate, be an effective rider, hit those goals you want. Keep going, over halfway through. Sing out. Ten seconds. Keep going. Three, two, one.
And rest. Resistance 13.
Fantastic work.
2 minutes.
Only one. You have 2 intervals to go. You've got it left in your eye.
2 more.
A little fuel remaining in
2 more. 1 minute pushes.
students here. About 60. RP of 2 to 3. I want to make sure you adequately rest during each of these. As I mentioned in the intro for this series, this ride even, rest, nutrition, and hydration are paramount to success to improve your performance. And this is a performance series. It's advanced, it's hard. You're going to see some serious gains these 16 stages. So much like rest, we're taking between each of these intervals, let our muscles prepare for the next heavy effort. After you finish up this stage today, hydrate properly, get some calories in you. Usually recommended a 3 to 1 carb to protein ratio. Get some adequate rest as well. Elevate the legs, stretch a bit. Make sure you're nice and limber in preparation for the next one. This is amazing. Getting to roll through these plantations here. Vietnam always delivers on unique experiences. Let's experience another interval here and kick it off in 3, 2, 1, push it.
Okay.
Get out of the south.
Resistance 17.
Stand up. How you feeling? Keep going.
Resistance 17.
90. RPE. 8 to 9. Don't go easy on me here. You got it.
Ah,
This is a 30-second interval. We didn't have to push it as long. You can finish strong.
30 seconds here.
One more. 3, 2, 1.
Ah,
Settle back.
rest.
Oh,
Resistance 13. It's going to be 30 seconds interval, but the resistance is going to be higher.
oh, we're gonna get to say hi to some cows along the way. Because that last interval was 30 seconds, we only have a minute of rest. Ready to punch it again for our last VO2 interval. I'm gonna want you pretty much give it all you've got.
Give it all you have.
10, just about there. I want you to feel gas by the end. So let's kick it off here.
Resistance 17, 30 seconds, all you have.
Keep up. You got it. Keep spinning. You are doing awesome. Break this bar. Move it, roll it fast. 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 Down and down. Keep pushing it. Very good. Lead me out here. For the last 15 seconds. Nice work. Very nice work. 3, 2, 1.
And rest.
Finish. Oh man.
Resistance 13.
That was awesome. Time on that. Boom. Oh, great work. You did such an amazing job on this first set of VO2 intervals in the series. I know you're feeling it in your legs and lungs. Same as I am. Woo. That was awesome.
-1. Resistance 13. Flat 13.
Only got 10 more seconds of this rest. We'll transition to the cool down. And cow. Nice little flowing river below there. Always pleasant. Oh, so beautiful. Sun has been rising on this ride, dispelling some of the mist that often form during the evening in these warm, humid environments. We're now in the cool down section.
Okay,
Ride.
cooling down.
Spin lightly.
9.5 minutes or so.
Keep your RPE for 2 to 3 for a little bit here. Give your heart some time.
Resistance 13.
Let it
Target RPM
grab a drink of
60 or so.
You just put in serious effort and did such an amazing job. So we've got a sugar cane field right there. Of course, throughout the course of the rides in this series, you always see the landscape dotted with banana trees, coconuts, palms, very tropical and exotic flora and fauna. It's very familiar to this region in Southeast Asia. We get to explore north central Vietnam, some of the mountainous regions up there. Amazing, amazing views.
Incline to resistance 13.
Pass. What vibrant greens as the monsoon season is still underway up there. We'll get to ride all throughout the Mekong Delta region in the south of Vietnam. We've chosen very
Flat
scenic,
13.
beautiful locations to explore during all of these workouts. It'll definitely help us endure through the VO2, tempo, endurance, and FTP intervals. This is much work. These efforts are not easy. Lots of mental and physical barriers to overcome to improve your performance.
Incline 4, resistance 11. We are on a cool down. Flat 13.
That car just now was a perfect example of what our rides will be like through the cities. That honking was an indicator that they see us. Not an aggressive, get out of the way, or I'm mad at you, or rather it's informative. So they're using horns for what I would say is the intended purpose, so good on them. Keep that cadence around 50 to 60 here, and drop your RPE to about a 2. Slow spin it as we work to finish our cool down on this, the first stage
Minus 2, 13.
15-stage performance series here in Vietnam. Starting off today, right outside Ho Chi Minh City, at that War Memorial. We got to explore the Chu tunnels a bit. Before getting out and crushing those VO2 intervals.
Okay. There's 10 miles, 0.05. How about that? 37. Okay, let's set up everything. We have legs coming up. No, I mean we're working out legs.